What's going on, everybody? It's early in the morning, and I couldn't sleep, to be honest. Um, I had experienced some situations in the workplace, and so I went online to, my search was for black people in the workplace who had compromised their integrity. In other words, black people who had been um, promoted to managerial positions, director positions, and now they are overseers of other black personnel for which they have authority over. And the discrimination. And I couldn't find one video or one research that was harping on or trying to solidify what I was trying to get answers for. So that's why I'm making this video. Because this is not a black person in corporate America discrimination type of video. Because when I looked at what I was particularly looking for, I couldn't find it. And what I was particularly looking for was, for one, how white corporate America has ingeniously hired black managers and supervisors to avoid racial discrimination claims, right? Not to legitimately eradicate racist behavior in your corporation, but to continue your racist behavior because habits are hard to break. So to continue your racist discrimination against blacks and other minorities, you hire black and other minorities in positions of management and, supervisors or whatever. But unlike their white counterpart with that same position, they exercise their discretion impunitively. And what I mean by that is they have no fear of, I'm talking about a white supervisor or a white manager or white director, whatever the case may be. I have a white subordinate come before them, right, with some indiscretion, with any kind of, problem, work performance, whatever, and they will, with no hesitation, exercise their authority to overlook or to give that person chances and opportunity, immeasurable chances and opportunity, as long as they can help them out. But that same black supervisor or that same black manager in that same position, right, feel as though if they exercise that same discretion, that they will be scrutinized or looked at as playing favoritism, despite that being the exact thing that their white counterpart is doing, right? It so much to the point where as though not only is that the reason why they don't try to salvage one of their a black subordinate under them situation or rectify it in an adjustable manner, it gets to the point where as though it gets good to them. And they like, you know what? I don't think you should be here. You know, the old jealousy amongst Negro adage mentality. You know, I'm better than you, or I got a chance to um, uh, make sure that you don't work here, or whatever the case may be. So I haven't seen the videos that I have seen, or the research that I have seen is the pressures of black managers um, living up to expectations or getting less pay or stuff like that as their white counterpart. But let's be real, right? That this is a real occurrence going on in corporate America. Blacks are being hired to put their foot on the necks of their own people, just like the black overseers, just like the black overseers in slavery time, right? They would even use blacks to whip other slaves, right? And you didn't want to appear favorable to your own kind for fear of retribution or punishment from whites. Even though white counterparts were doing the same thing with no fear of showing favoritism. No fear at all. This is the same thing with Obama, right? Now, you got a lot of people who were angry because they believe Obama didn't do anything for black people. And there are those who believe that Obama did so much for black people. Well, the evidence speaks for itself. So I just, it's disheartening that all that black people and other minorities have been through as a whole, right? And most of these corporations they didn't even have black employees. But now to have black employees in prominent and reputable positions to even be more detrimental and harmful to their own kind is a sad individual. Me personally, I could never compromise my integrity in that manner. If I'm hired as a manager by a corporation, or a supervisor by a corporation, a director, whatever the case may be, by a corporation, then that means that I was hired to do my job. And if my white counterpart understands his discretion in areas of um, um, hiring, firing, um, uh, uh, enacting retribution or punishment for a violation of a policy or whatever the case may be, right? The key word is discretion. That's the key word. So I don't care how the company is looking at me and exercising my discretion, right, in the way that I see fit. And only thing they can say is that my discretion is being harmful to the company as a whole. But other than that, I'm going to give, right, justice where justice is well deserved. I'm not a man who will try to fire a person who has bills. Just think over that. Fire a person who this job is providing health care to, right? Because I believe that your indiscretion is against this company's policy. While my white counterpart has no fear in exercising their discretion and not having you terminated, having you severely punished, having you continue to go on with your job, having you continue to go on with your income to pay your bills, having you continue to go on and receive your health care. They have no qualms about exercising that discretion for their white subordinate or their white counterparts. So I could never compromise. I could never, and I think that's a key word. I could never compromise who I am. Right? I would be, if I was a supervisor, I would be a black supervisor in a white corporate entity. And if there were black subordinates under me, then I am going to do my job. And it doesn't matter if they see the thing about me, and the thing about what I believe most blacks, you know, with my position and the way I rotate and think, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. I just am not going to openly harm a person who is working, especially when that person can be an asset, right? They are an asset, but they have this problem or they have that problem. And that's what they are. Problems are just what they are, problems. But problems are meant to be solved, right? Not just thrown away. And so you just don't throw away problems, you solve them the same way you just don't throw away people. So I'm going to post this video because I hope that somebody who is looking up this topic or this issue can see this video and say, oh, now that's what I've been looking up. Why do black people who get into positions or positions of power, right, exercise that power and are way over their black subordinates or counterparts that are harmful because they believe that that's what their bosses want them to do, or they don't want to appear to be favorable to their own.